Alright, hi everybody. I'm in my car. I'm late for work. So, I am filming while I'm on my way to work. So, sorry about that annoying beeping. Okay, so it's been about 2 weeks since I last updated. And I have my notes here. Little tiny, oh crap. Hold on. Okay, there we go. All right, so when I last updated, I was 313, and today, 2 weeks later, I am 311.6. Last week I was 314, so it's a total loss of 1.4 pounds, which I'll take. My lowest weight that I saw in the past 2 weeks was 309, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so close, and I'm totally gonna make it. And that was like right before my doctor's appointment, or with the nurse practitioner. And I was so excited, and I said, you know what, if I work out tomorrow morning, I'm totally gonna be 308, and blah 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 blah. Well, I get to the gym and I'm working out, and then I usually weigh after I work out in the morning, so I'm like the lowest. And I go and I get on the scale at the gym, and it says like 315, 314. I'm like, no, that can't be right. That's wrong. So I take a shower, and I'm like, no, that has to be wrong. You know, I know that my weight, and I'm like, damn, I wish I had weighed myself at home. So I go to work, or I go to the doctor's office, and I do my weight check. It says 315. I'm like, no, there's no way. Yesterday I was 309. That can't be possible. It's just not possible. I mean, it's ridiculous. But you know, that's the recorded weight that they're gonna have for me, and I'm just like, how is it possible that I went from being 309 to 315 overnight? And so I figure it must be like a fluke or something. I have no idea. But kind of annoying. Not kind of, actually, a lot annoying. It really, you know, I know, I think it was Banded Wendy who said, you know, don't let the scale affect how you feel, but it's really hard not to when you were one weight and now you're another, and it's like overnight. It's really hard not to let it affect you. What else has been going on? So as far as weight goes, when I did see the doctor, and you know, I told her, or the nurse practitioner, I told her what had happened, and she said, but you know, you've done really well. You know, it's been 2 months pretty much, and I lost 23 pounds. So she said for a weight loss, pre-op weight loss surgery patient, that's really good. You know, but I told her, I said, you know, what pretty much happened was I started losing the weight when I really started working out. And then I really started losing a lot more weight when I cut carbs out of my, unnatural carbs. You know, I still eat fruits and stuff which have carbs, but the processed stuff like chips and bread and tortillas, I cut that out of my diet, which really helped. But now I'm kind of like, well, what else is there left to do? I mean, except for, you know, exercise twice a day, which I did last week, but I haven't done since, because it just really takes a lot of energy out of me. You know, getting up in the morning and working out, and then going to work, coming home and working out. It's just like I'm dead by the end of that. So, but I did last week. Usually, if I know I'm gonna have to do something after work, I'm just like, okay, or before work. Last week before work, I had to go in early, and I was like, oh well, you know, I'm not gonna get the chance to work out, so. You know, before I would normally be like, oh well, you know, whatever, I just won't work out. And then it would turn into, well, I didn't work out yesterday, so I'm not gonna work out again. So what I did instead was I worked out at night. I worked out in the morning on Tuesday, and then at night on Tuesday, to make up for the fact that I wasn't gonna work out on Wednesday. Because going into work early for me, and then staying, like having overtime, it really takes a lot out of me, because I have to get up. You know, even just a half an hour can really make a difference in how you feel and how much it takes out of you. So let's see what else has been happening. Anyway, so when I saw the nurse practitioner, she said that you know, I've been doing great, and that she knows that I will lose, I think when I saw her it was like 7 pounds. Yeah, sorry, I had to do math on my head. 15, I was 315 and I have to be 308, so I have 7 pounds to lose. She says, you know what, with the rate that you've been going, I know that you'll lose the 7 pounds within the next month. And she said, I think you're ready to have your pre-op appointment with the doctor. And I said, oh my God, you know, like, wow, that's fast. And she's like, just make sure that you've lost the weight by then, but you know, I know that you're gonna do great. So the next appointment that they had was for April 25th in the evening, in the afternoon. So pretty much it's like a countdown now for me, how many days I have left till I see my doctor. I did ask though, because I'm through my insurance company, which is Cigna, I have to do 6 months like pre-op diet type thing. And I was telling her, well, you know, do I have to wait to be approved after the full 6 months? And she said that that she didn't know. She thought, you know, she was like, oh, well, you have an HMO, you know, can't you just like do it now? And I said, no, as far as I know, I have to wait. So they had one of the ladies call me back, and she said, yes, it is a 6 month period, but I'm pretty sure I can get approved before that. I just have to wait till the 6 month mark to actually have surgery. I believe that that's what can happen, because if not, you know, I have a certain window. I think I can go down to 295 and still have my BMI above 40, but anything below that, and I don't think I'll get down to that, but excuse me, but I don't want to have to wait. You know, if I have to wait till like exactly 6 months, July, to get approved, then that means I might not be able to have surgery until like August or September, and that doesn't work for me because of my work schedule. I need to be able to try and do it during the summer. So I have to call back the lady that called me about my insurance. That's one of my mental checklists that I have to put in. But other than that, everything's been going okay. I'm trying not to deprive myself. I was going through a bit, I will admit, oh, that rhymes, sorry, of cheating, I guess. And you know, I'm not really cheating anybody except myself. And so, sorry, I have to sneeze. You know, I realized that I needed to stop. I don't know if anyone out there has them, but I mean, I'm sure you have an Arby's, but I don't know if they have the chocolate turnovers. Those were like crack to me, I will admit. My fiance, I was telling him it's like crack. Like there was a good 2 week span where I was going and getting one every single day. You know, I wouldn't have anything else, but I would have my crack, you know, quote unquote crack that I would call it, because I was sneaking it. I didn't want anyone to know that I was having it, because not only was it like sweet because of the chocolate, but it also had like flaky pastry. It was so delicious. And it was ridiculous how much. There was even times like I would go get one before going home, and then I would stop and eat it before I got home, so that my fiance didn't see that I had it. And it's like, that to me, that's kind of like an addiction, because it's something that you're hiding from people that you love. And that's the same way an addiction is. Usually you try and hide it from the people that you love because you don't want them to know that you're doing it. And it was so ridiculous, because it's like, you know, he loves me. He loves me now. He's gonna love me later when I'm skinny. He's gonna love me no matter what. And you know, I finally admitted it to him, and he said, you know what, you just gotta be stronger than this. He told me how strong I was, and how to make me cry. Sorry guys. He told me how strong I was, and how I've been making such better decisions than he is. And when we go out to eat, you know, he feels guilty when he eats like bread and stuff in front of me. And you know, how I'm such a strong person, and I've gone through so much, and I've been so strong through it, and that I can beat this. And you know, it's true. I think I put something up on my Facebook a couple of weeks ago saying that, you know, this yearning, this needing of a certain particular food, I'm not gonna let it control my life anymore. And I'm not gonna let it control my life anymore, because I'm bigger than this, and I'm stronger than this, and I know I'm a strong person. So anyway, great. Crying before I go to work. Anyway, so I just wanted to update you guys. It's been, you know, about 2 weeks, so my next update probably won't be until you know, I reach my mark that I have to reach by 3:08. Or I see the doctor, or hopefully I reach my 3:08 mark before I have to see the doctor. You know, I want to at least try and be able to maintain that weight a little bit. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great week, couple of weeks, and you know, I know that some of, you know, people out there are going through surgery, gonna have surgery, in the process of getting ready for surgery, are you you know, just starting out the beginning process, and you know, it's not easy. It's not easy at all, and you know, but once you get there, it's a great feeling. So everybody have a good week. Bye.